Hello and welcome to this weather update. I know it is almost midnight uh, it is supposed to be March 11th, but it's going to be March 12th very soon. And of course, remember to set your clocks ahead tonight for spring forward. Right now, yeah, I got delayed because of the ice bus, obviously, and then I wanted to wait for some more models to come in. Yeah, 4041 didn't show up, and I had to take the other bus and walk through Garden City. I should have just stayed on the bus from Rockville Center. I got a 35, but 4041, you just cannot count on that bus. I'm telling you, it just doesn't show up. So anyway, we're not talking about that in this video. We're talking about the weather. So you can see this monster storm offshore right now. And I have the GLM flash intensity, and you can see that's all lightning. All those colors you see flashing on the screen, that's lightning. Look at all the lightning going off in the center of this coastal storm that is blowing up right now over the ocean there. You can see it right here. Look at that. That's incredible. You can see it almost looks like it has an eye to it. Yeah, quite incredible to see. You can see clouds are starting to break up, but here comes the clouds from the next system that will be rolling in on us tomorrow. So yeah, quite a system. And again, you could kind of visualize this here at Earth and Old School. Look at this thing. It's just unbelievable how powerful this thing is. And the reason why is, well, let's put sea surface temperature anomalies on here. You'll see that's where the really warm water is, where it's blowing up right there. See those bright yellows there? That's where the really warm water is. And this is sea surface temperature anomaly. And this here is a nearly 20-degree anomaly here. Now I have to pull this to the left a little bit here so you can see. But that is nearly a 20-degree anomaly right there. You're seeing where that circle is right there. The actual sea surface temperature in this spot is 65 degrees, almost 70 in this spot here. So that's helping feed energy into the storm and really just causing this thing to just explode. It's really scary, these really ridiculous sea surface temperatures. It's really something to be alarmed about. There's more weird weather going on. Tornado warnings for California. It says the Weather Service issued a tornado warning today. And this was a tornado warning including Sonora here. Look at this. This is in California here. Severe thunderstorms and tornadoes in California today, which is pretty crazy here. Flash flooding, levee breach. So all hell is breaking loose in California right now. Obviously, just crazy. Tualamun County dealing with stuff too. Evacuation warnings. Just absolutely crazy flooding concerns going on. And there was also a lot of lightning as well. Lots of lightning with these storms as well. If we go to the power outage map, California in the yellow, I'm surprised it's not worse. But there were a lot of bad thunderstorms. I'm going to go to the Ventus sky. We're going to actually take a look at some of these thunderstorms that came through California. This is like California. You're not supposed to get severe thunderstorms in California. That's not at all supposed to happen. But yet it did today. So let's move this back to sad. You'll be able to visualize some of these storms that came through. And you can see there's some severe storms here. Here's one right here east of Stockton. It looks pretty bad. So these are the kind of storms to deal with. And there was a lot of lightning. Look at this. You can see this looks like a tornadic thunderstorm here, right here that we're looking at. There was a lot of lightning with these storms too. So very unusual to see this in California. Very, very unusual. In fact, we can actually look at the lightning. So let's mean that we have GLM flash intensity up. Let's go to the West Coast now and look at the West Coast here. U.S. Pacific Coast, I guess we could do this. GLM flash intensity. Yes, shows it perfectly. You still have thunderstorms going. So, I mean, look at all these thunderstorms here. We'll roll this back about 84 to 84 frames here. I mean, look at all that lightning. That's incredible. There's a really severe storm there. Look at all that lightning. My gosh, this is very unusual to see in California. Very, 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 very unusual to see and very alarming, to say the least. Really crazy. Normally, I don't do weather updates on Saturday. I usually take a break, but we have so much going on, between California and the storm offshore, and of course the storm that we've got to worry about next week. Now, let's go to the snowfall reports here from the Weather Service. Just nothing really. This is all north of the city. I'll show it briefly. They got 3 to 5 inches, well north of the city. Nothing for us. The story more was the rain. So let's go to the weather and hazards map, which I should have here. Here we go. And you can see all these various flash flood warnings in California. We have a winter storm warning for the mountains, flood warnings in effect, and then there's severe weather in the south, too. It looks like we have a tornado watch. That's actually a severe thunderstorm watch with a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings around Arkansas again. All right. And if we look at the radar for the country, which is what we'll do now, you'll see this is the next system that is approaching. You can see some really heavy storms. Look at these. Oh, these look pretty bad. Around Arkansas right here. These look bad. And then you have what's going on in California, which doesn't really want to load. There you go. Here, there are the thunderstorms going on in California right now. So, yeah, again, this is all because of the fire hose pattern. You know, it's just putting all this. You have warmer than normal oceans, more energy for storms, and this is what happens. You know, this will be our next storm to worry about. So let's go, and I'll talk more in detail about that storm tomorrow. Let's go over today's statistics here before it's too late. Actually, it is after midnight, so I don't know if it's going to show you the high. We're not going to be able to do the highs and lows for the day. I'll look at the islip 36. I mean, nothing that remarkable here with the highs and the lows. We got into, it was pretty chilly today. We were probably below normal, low 40s for highs. And at night, it didn't really drop that much in the morning either. So we may still wind up actually being above normal for the day if I go to look at islip statistics. Let's go. The main thing is the rainfall. So let's take a look and see how much rainfall we got. Let me put this back over here. Precipitation, and we'll do, let's see, 36-hour precipitation. And you'll see how much rainfall we got here. Not as much as I expected here. Some areas got up to an inch, but areas out east really didn't get nearly as much rain as we thought. It was a lot less than we thought, actually, only 0.31, so a lot less, a little more toward New Jersey. But other than that, not really that much rain from the system, so it didn't really even make it to an inch. The models were kind of off with that for whatever reason. I think it just developed further offshore than the models were anticipating, I guess, so maybe that's why we got a little less in the way of precipitation across the area. So let's go to the models next. All right. So what we have going on, we have this storm offshore here. This high pressure here. Oh, whoops! I kind of just went ahead there for a moment. This is our storm here offshore. 978 MB low. That is really, really low. Very low pressures indeed. In fact, I go to the weather and let me see if we can get some marine observations here. I'll just put this back to station plot. I know we'd have to go way out to get these marine observations, and honestly, I don't know if there's anything really close to the storm. This is the best thing we've got here. Wave height 16 feet at this buoy here, and the water temperature at 44 degrees. But again, if you go out a little further, there aren't any buoys that far out. Oh, here's another one. 42 mile an hour wind gust at this one here. We got a couple here. Water temperature 45 for that far north is extremely unusual to see that kind of water temperature. Let's see surface temperature, I should say. Yeah, you can see the wind's picking up now. So that storm's really very, very deep. It's out in the ocean, but it's very deep. And you see all the lightning that went on with it. So it's really rapidly intensifying as it's over those really warm waters. So let's go to the weather. Let me just go. I forgot to put this one on the screen here. Weather Prediction Center. So we get a look at the weather map here. So there's your big storm offshore. There's this mess. This is what's heading for us Monday and Tuesday. All right. So moving along, you'll see you'll have one more dry day tomorrow. And then here comes the rain for Monday. In fact, let me just make this into the eastern U.S. view. So here comes the rain for Monday. And you can see, this is why I'm not too confident. GFS is not even showing it's tracking much further to the east now, I notice. And then what it does is it does a very weird loop-the-loop. This is what the Euro was cluing on. The Euro, one thing the Euro did pick up on was this, that it's going to do this crazy looping. But I still don't think the heavy snow gets here. I think it's going to be more of a New England event for us. But we will be dealing with the precipitation chances lingering. And then finally moves out Wednesday. All right. So we'll have a lot more models to look at tomorrow night as far as the storm goes. So I'm not going to go too crazy with it. We can look at the European. as well. Let's see if the European is. Yeah, beginning to see that agreement here. So this is the European, but you see where the low's placement is, it indicates that the heavier snow would be over New England in this particular area right here. All right, and the key to that, we go back and we look at the GFS and we go to the FGen, for instance. All right, because that's what you have to be under if you want to get heavy snow. There's the FGen right there. So it's actually well offshore on this. You can see it kind of comes back into New England there. I don't think the European gives us FGen, does it? Oh, it does. Good. It does give us FGen. Perfect. So this is the European's FGen. And you can see that the bulk of it seems to be more over New England. But we're going to have better ideas on this tomorrow night. I'm not going to go completely nuts on this. We can look at the NAM as well. The NAM's FGen here. And you can see it's mostly over, and it's really impressive, but it's mostly over New England. All right. Because, again, we look at the track of this storm right now. This is why I think it's going to be rain. Yeah, there's our monster storm offshore there. You can see the rain is going to start Monday, and it's going to get heavy Monday night. And then you can see the low kind of going up there, and then we kind of get into some snow in the wraparound there. But the heavier, again, the temperatures are marginal, and it's just not really the proper conditions for this, you know. If we were to look at total snowfall on this NAM model, you could see it barely gives us anything. It's mostly New England, especially the mountains. Somebody will wind up getting clobbered with this storm, but I just don't think it's going to be anywhere near here. All right, let's go to the HRRR model next. All right, and we'll look at the HRRR model as we go through tomorrow, and then obviously tomorrow will be dry, but we'll have the clouds coming in, and then you'll see the rain come in for Monday, though. The HRRR says it's fairly light until we get toward the evening, and then it gets a little heavier. This is all we have of the HRRR right there. Dew points in wind flow. We have the north winds tonight. Those north winds become easterly tomorrow, and then southeasterly by tomorrow night. And then we stick with the easterly winds, and the winds are going to be an issue with this storm. But again, we'll talk a little more in detail about that tomorrow night, because I know it's late. I don't have a lot more information to go over. Now, as far as tomorrow goes, tonight we're probably not going to drop, maybe to around the freezing mark. But tomorrow will probably be a little warmer than today because the sun will be out in the morning. But then we cloud up, so we'll probably just have mid-40s. Then we cloud up, and the temperatures do not drop below freezing again. And that's the issue with this storm in general. If we look at the GFS and the European, you'll see the temperatures stay above freezing for us. New England will be a different story in the mountains. And again, when you have that heavier precipitation, it can bring those temperatures down. And it's going to be a very wet snow, a very damaging snow, not a really good kind of snow to have, because it's going to cause a lot of damage to trees and power lines because of its high water content. But again, we'll talk more about that tomorrow night. Lastly, let's go to the skies, and you'll see that the skies, unfortunately, we're going to be dealing with cirrus tomorrow. So let me move this over to the skies. We'll start off with sunshine, but then the cirrus starts rolling in later in the morning, and then we'll probably have most of it around by the afternoon. We'll have to see what happens. RGM is a little more encouraging than some of the other models that I've looked at with the skies. But like I said, I've learned not to get my hopes up too much with the sky tomorrow, especially when we look at the satellite and we saw that cirrus already trying to stream into Pennsylvania. I just don't see how we're going to have a clear day tomorrow, even maybe for a few hours in the morning. But by 10, 11 o'clock, it's going to be rolling in on us. I just don't see it. NAM, you can see at 14Z, it's already rolling in, so I just don't see it. This is a big surge of moisture with this system off to the west. And again, it's all because of the zonal jet stream. This is the problem that we have. If you look at the jet stream again, let me go back to the GFS here. Go to the jet stream. This is the problem. The system's just, the system leaves, but again, look, you have that jet stream just ramming more moisture in ahead of the next system. So this is the problem we have. It's a fire hose, basically. So we'll talk more about this tomorrow night. That's going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night.